إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، أحبتي في الله، أوصي نفسي وإياكم بتقوى الله، فقد فاز المتقون. قال تعالى: إن للمتقين مفازا. أيها المسلمون، السعي على العيال والتحري لقمة الحلال من أشرف الخصال. الأرزاق مقدرة والآجال مكتوبة، والعبد مأمور بفعل السبب مع اعتماد قلبه على الله عز وجل. هذا ولقد أمر الله المؤمنين بأكل من الطيبات. قال تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من طيبات ما رزقناكم واشكروا لله إن كنتم إياه تعبدون. عباد الله، ألا وإن من شر المكاسب التعامل بالربا وأكله وتوكيله، فهو من كبائر الذنوب ومن أسباب منع القطر ونزع البركات، بل إن المرابي محارب لله ملعون في سنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. واستمعوا معاشر المسلمين إلى آيات عظيمة تزلزل قلوب الحية، كلها وعيد شديد لأهل الربا. يقول جل في علاه: الذين يأكلون الربا لا يقومون إلا كما يقوم الذي يتخبطه الشيطان من المس، ذلك بأنهم قالوا إنما البيع مثل الربا وأحل الله البيع وحرم الربا. فمن جاءه موعظة من ربه فانتهى فله ما سلف وأمره إلى الله، ومن عاد فأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. يمحق الله الربا ويربي صدقات، والله لا يحب كل كفار أثيم. أيها المسلمون، الربا في اصطلاح الفقهاء يتناول أمرين في الجملة. الأول ربا الجاهلية، وهي ربا القرض، وهو زيادة في الدين مقابل تأجيل المدة، سواء اشترطت الزيادة عند حلول الأجل أو في بداية الأجل. قال تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وذروا ما بقي من الربا إن كنتم مؤمنين، فإن لم تفعلوا فأذنوا بحرب من الله ورسوله. ومن جملة الربا في الديون المنفعة المستفادة منها، المنفعة التي يقدمها المقترض للمقرض قبل السداد، ولم تجر العادة في التهادي بينهما، ففيها شبه الربا. وقد ورد في آثار عن الصحابة المنع من ذلك، فقد روى البخاري عن أبي بردة قال: أتيت المدينة فلقيت عبد الله بن السلام فقال لي: ألا تجيء إلى البيت حتى أطعمك سويقا وتمرا؟ فذهبنا فأطعمنا سويقا وتمرا، ثم قال: إنك بأرض الربا فيها فاش، أي منتشر، فإذا كان لك على رجل دين فأهدى إليك حمل تبن أو حمل شعير أو حمل قط فلا تقبله، فإن ذلك من الربا. وعن سالم بن أبي الجعد قال: كان لنا سماك عليه لرجل 50 دينارا، فكان يهدي إليه السمك، فأتى ابن عباس فسأله عن ذلك فقال: قاسه بما أهدى إليك، أخرجه أحمد. والثاني من أنواع ربا البيوع، وهو النوعان. الأول ربا الفضل، وهو الزيادة في إحدى البدلين الربوين المتفقين جنسا، كأن يبيع صاعا من التمر بصاعين، أو 100 مثقال من ذهب ب110، وإن اختلفا في الجودة. عن عبادة بن صامت رضي الله عنه قال: قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: الذهب بالذهب والفضة بالفضة والبر بالبر والشعير بالشعير والتمر بالتمر والملح بالملح، مثلا بمثل، سواء بسواء، يدا بيد، فإذا اختلفت هذه الأصناف فبيعوا كيف شئتم إذا كان يدا بيد. أخرجه مسلم. وعن أبي سعيد قال جاء بلال بتمر برني أي تمر جيد، فقال له رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من أين هذا؟ فقال بلال تمر كان عندي رديء بعت منه صاعين بصاع من هذا. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أواه عين الربا لا تفعل، ولكن إذا أردت أن تشتري فبعه ببيع آخر ثم اشتري به. متفق عليه. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تبيع دينار بدينارين ولا درهم بدرهمين. أخرجه مسلم. Brothers in Islam, my topic for today is about riba. All of us, we are living in a time where riba is rampant. Whenever you go, whoever you meet will mention, comment, or state anything to do with riba. And riba is haram without any doubt. But there are transactions that we do, we indulge in, and yet it is haram. A simple example, I know each and every one of you here who is a Kenyan and who has lived in Kenya for 5 or 10 years have heard of something called M-Shwari, Safaricom product for savings. There's riba in it. The terms of M-Shwari, there is element of riba. You save with M-Shwari and they'll give you certain % of interest. Haram. It's not allowed. The reason why I chose this topic is because majority of the youth, when they are broke, they rush to Fuliza. Fuliza has interest, riba, haram. And something that majority of the businessmen do, and they think it's a sign of good behavior. It's a sign of courtesy to someone who has done you a favor. You give a brother who is in need a loan. That is Qardul Hasan. He is your brother. He has liquidity issues. You say, you know what? How much do you want? 2 million. Take this 2 million. When you give it back to me. 2 million. Then the brother who was given 2 million started feeling guilt. Whenever he sees this brother who did ihsan to him, he says, you know, it is good courtesy if I give him a present. You find a brother giving someone who gave him loan a present, not because it's something they are used to. No, it's because he feels that he's indebted to this person. I need to make him at least, you know, he did a good thing to me, I'm returning a favor. So I'm giving him a present. I'm buying him perfume. I'm buying him khamis. I'm buying him something, a present. That is riba. In Islam, there are 2 types of riba. The first one is riba in debt, duyun, riba fi duyun. And this one, in the time of Jahiliyyah, the way they used to do is they give you a loan. Either they are going to tell you, listen, you're supposed to pay this amount by 5th of next month. Are we in agreement? Yes. If you delay even 1 day, you have to add extra amount. So that's a condition that is in the beginning when you're doing the contract. That is riba, al-jahiliyyah, la yajuz, haram. The other one that they used to practice also was, he gives you loan, you go. When are you paying me back? Next month on 5th. The time comes, he comes to you. Okay, pay your dues. Where's my money? Then the guy is like, please, can you add me 10 days? I'm expecting something. I don't have now the cash, but I'm expecting something to come. No problem, I'll give you 10 days. But what are you going to give me in return? Because now you are holding my money, I'm supposed to invest in it. Oh, no problem. What I'll do, I'll give you your money with extra small thing. Oh, thank you, no problem. Then, okay, after 10 days I'll come. Riba al-jahiliyyah, haram, it's not allowed. And that is why you'll find Allah Azza wa Jalla, in all the sins that He has mentioned in Quran and their punishment, the one that He has come up with the gravest punishment is riba. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, when he was doing tafsir of the ayah فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, then prepare, be ready to fight with Allah and His Messenger. He said, on the day of judgment, the people who used to deal in riba, they'll be called, then they'll be told, أَعِدُّوا سِلَاحَكُمْ, prepare your weapons, for you are yet to face the war that you are told when you're on the earth. فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Ibn Abbas said, so you will be told, you who's dealing with riba, on the day of judgment, if you don't do tawbah, you will be told, pick your weapon. You are now going to face the war that Allah promised while you're on earth. The reason I'm giving these examples is because nowadays we have a lot of excuses for riba. Some of us even have invented names for riba, good names, so that we run away from the reality of what we're dealing with. I've given you an example of someone who's giving his brother a loan and is expecting to get a reward. Now one will ask me, where did I get that from? Abu Burda says, Ataytul Medina. I went to Medina for a visit and I met Abdullah ibn Salam radiallahu anhu. Then Abdullah ibn Salam decided to invite Abu Burda to his place for a meal. Can we go to my house? We have a meal. We discuss. You know, you're from journey. Then they decided, they went together into Abdullah ibn Salam's house. They enjoyed the meal. After they finished, Abdullah ibn Salam warned Abu Burda. He said, now you've come in a town where riba is rampant. People are practicing riba very much here. Now I'm warning you, Abu Burda, if you give anyone a loan, if someone asks for a favor, a loan, and then before he returns the loan, he starts giving you presents. And he gave examples of what they used to be giving out at that time. Portion of meal, portion of wheat. As a present, you know, you're my brother, mashallah, take this. No problem. No, give this to the children. No problem. This is yours. What did Abdullah bin Salam say? فَلَا تَقْبَلْهُ, don't accept it. Don't take that present. فَإِنَّ ذَلِكَ مِنَ الرِّبَى, for that, whatever you're taking, it's part of riba. And Islamic scholars, they have this Islamic legal maxim. They say, كُلُّ قَرْضٍ جَرَّ نَفْعَ فَهُوَ riba. Any benefit that you get from a loan, then that is riba. Now when they were explaining this, mind you, they knew all what Abdullah bin Salam said and the other two that we're going to give. There are two differences. Number one, you as a Muslim might have a brother who you are used to visit, giving each other presents, rewarding each other on the days of maybe Eid, on the festive days, you give him present, he gives you present. It's a norm between you two. Then one day it happens that you are in need of cash and you go to the brother, you ask the brother for a favor, loan, he gives you. Then the time that you used to give each other present comes, he gives you present, this will not come in. This qaida, this Islamic legal maxim is not going to apply to you. But it's going to apply to someone who is just a normal Muslim, who is a friend that you know and he knows you, but you've never given each other presents. You've never done to each other favor. But once he gives you a loan, now you start feeling the indebtedness. You're like, I have to do something. This guy helped me. That's when this Islamic legal maxim comes in. That's where the wasiyah of Abdullah ibn Salam to Abu Burda comes in and plays the role. Listen to the next one. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma. Salim ibn Abi Ja'ad says they had one guy, he used to sell fish. That's why they say Sammak. It's Ismul Fa'il. He used to sell fish. So he had a loan he took from another brother, 50 dirham. Now every time he sees this person, he gives him one fish. Every time he meets him, one fish. Every time he meets him, one fish. So this guy was like, I'm getting these fishes every day. I need to go and know. Am I allowed to be consuming this fish? Or what is the ruling on it? So he went to Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. He said, there's this brother that came to me. He was in need of cash. I gave him amount. And then every time I see him, he gives me one fish. Every time I meet with him, one fish. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, you subtract whatever he gave you from the amount that you owe him. You subtract. Otherwise, you'll be falling into riba. Brothers, it is very unfortunate that we are fighting as Muslims to win tenders whereby there are interest element on it, and yet we are very comfortable feeding our families with this kind of wealth. The Prophet ﷺ said, كل لحم نبت من السحت فالنار أولى بها. Any piece of meat that has grown into your body from haram income, then النار أولى بها. Then hellfire is the first place it's going to go. You have to be cleansed from that part of meat that you consumed in haram. These tenders that have interest on them, we are not supposed to participate in it. It is haram, la shak. And there is no any loophole around it. We are not even talking about the rishwa that we give to earn these tenders. I'm talking about the tender itself. If it has any element of riba, it is haram. Another example, and I'll be specific to whatever is happening now to our community and our society. Things that we can relate to. Another good example is now the government has said that they are going to be building affordable houses. And people are buying these houses. And when you go and read the terms of this contract, you will find that you're supposed to pay a specific portion of interest every year. Now listen to what the Prophet ﷺ said. لعن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم آكل الربا وموكله وشاهديه وكاتبه. That the Prophet ﷺ has cursed the person who is consuming riba, the person who is a witness to riba. You are not consuming. Please put this into mind. You are not consuming. You are just a witness. Please be my guarantor. I need to go and do this, to buy these affordable houses. Oh, you say, no problem. He's my brother. He wants the house here. No problem. You are in the same category with the one who's eating riba. وَكَاتِبَهُ, and the one who is drafting the contract of riba. And this goes to all lawyers who draft contracts. If anyone comes to you and tells you, please, I want you to draft for me a contract, I have this building that I've built, the apartments, and I want anyone, and I repeat this, I want anyone who's going to default on the rental payment on the specified date to pay certain amount of interest as a penalty. You are not supposed to write that contract, because you are going to be part of that riba. It is haram for you. La yajuz. You are not supposed. Now, this also goes to the tenant. You're looking for a house. You want to rent a house. I'll not talk about office spaces because you can do business online. I'm talking about houses because each and every one of us need a shelter. We need where to sleep. So it's a necessity for us to find somewhere to sleep. You're looking for a house to rent. You want to go and live into that house, you and your family. You agree on all the terms, but there's this one sentence. In the event of default, you agree to be penalized 5% of the outstanding amount. Haram la yajuz. You're not supposed to sign that contract. Because once you sign it, you come under the la'n of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Brothers in Islam, riba is everywhere. In our businesses, they are riba. They've put riba in it. When you want to go and rent a house, they're telling you, you don't want these terms, no problem. Look for another house. Look for another house. You will find another house. Man taraka shay'an lillahi awadahu khayran min. You want an office space, they tell you, no, we cannot. And let me tell you this, out of experience, even if they are not Muslims, the owner of the house, the owner of the mall, the owner of the space that you want, even if he's not a Muslim, if you tell him, me as a Muslim, I'm not allowed to be part and parcel of anything that has interest in it, even the word interest, they are going to respect you for your stand and they will remove it. But if, because of our whims, our desires, because we want to compete, because we want to show off, you just go on rushing and signing everything, when the day of judgment comes, فَلَا تَلُومَنَّ إِلَّا نَفْسَكَ. Do not blame except your nafs. Brothers in Islam, I want to finish with this last example, and this goes to our sisters, our mothers, our wives. The Prophet ﷺ said in Hadith Abdullah ibn Samit radiallahu anhu, قال الذهب بالذهب والفضة بالفضة والبر بالبر والشعير بالشعير والتمر بالتمر والملح بالملح مثلا بمثل سواء بسواء يدا بيد. If you are dealing in gold, and this is the advice I'm taking to my sisters, my mothers and my wives, if you are dealing with gold, you want to exchange your old gold to a new one, and you are going to the shop to do the transaction. This is the practice as of now. The lady will come with her gold. She'll go to the person who is in charge there. They will put into the scale, look at the grams of the gold, look at the quality of the gold, from where did you buy this gold, okay. Then they'll give the price of that day. This gold, the value of it is this amount. We just take number, for example, it is $100, okay? Then you want to buy a new gold, upgrade from whatever you had. You say, okay, can you give me that one? She removes it from the place and give it to you. She grabs it, weights everything. Say, okay, now this one is $300. So what you're supposed to do, give me how many? $200 plus the value of this one gold is going to be how many? 300, right? Now that is riba. That is what? Riba. Listen to this. Abi Sa'id radiallahu anhu qala, جاء بلال بتمر برني. Bilal radiallahu anhu came to the Prophet ﷺ with a date of high quality. The Prophet ﷺ was like, wow, mashallah, Bilal, where did you get this from? Bilal said, كان لي sa'aini min tamrin radi. I had like 2 kgs of dates that are of low quality. So I exchanged them for this 1 kg of high quality. Of what? High quality. Prophet ﷺ could not hold. He said, Awahin, Awahin. Aynul riba, Aynul riba. That is exactly the source of riba. That is exactly the source of riba. And Awahin, it's a word Arabs say when they are in pain. Because the Prophet ﷺ was in pain. He's Sahabi. He's doing a business that has riba. How? He has to feel the pain. He was like, Awahin, Awahin ya Bilal, Aynul riba, Aynul riba. Now how do I relate this to whatever I told you? I said, Dhahab. And the hadith that I read before, ulamas, when they're talking about a riba fil buyu', riba on business transactions, the baseline is that hadith of Abdullah of Abi Sa'id, whereby he gives us 6 types of products. الذهب بالذهب والفضة بالفضة والبر بالبر والشعير بالشعير والتمر بالتمر والملح بالملح. Then he says سواء بسواء مثلا بمثل يدا بيد. These 6 categories are the source for you to understand things that fall into riba when you're doing business. Number 1 is gold for gold. If you're doing a transaction of gold for gold, you have your old gold that you want to go and change, do whatever the Prophet ﷺ told Bilal to do. What did he say? وَلَكِنْ إِذَا أَرَدْتَ أَن تَشْتَرِي فَبِعْ هَذَا. If you want to exchange what you have that is of low quality to something that is of high quality, that falls under the category of riba products, what do? بِعْ اللي عندك. Sell whatever you have. So the lady is supposed to come to the place, they value the gold, they look at the grams, they discuss the transaction, they finish it, and she collects her money from the shopkeeper. Now she has her money with her. That is the $100. Now she comes and starts a new transaction. She says, give me that gold. If she wants, she can buy there. But ulama say it is even better to buy from another shop, so that the shabah of riba gets out of there. But there is no problem buying from the same person another gold. You say, give me that. They come, they look at the quality, they look at the grams, and they tell you that it's 300. Now you have your 100 plus the 200 that you had in your pocket. You collect, this is 300. You give her 300, you take your new gold and you go. That is the solution the Prophet ﷺ gave Bilal. And that is the solution that I'm giving my sisters, my mothers, and our wives to be doing whenever they are going to do with gold. أقول ما سمعتم واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم هو البر الكريم. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وعلى آله وصحبه ومن على سبيله اكتفى أما بعد. Brothers in Islam, I think it's high time as Muslims we learn how to do transaction Islamically, and more precisely when it comes to things that fall under the riba category. If you're dealing with food items, you're not supposed to exchange food items for food items, because this is low quality and this is high quality. Because there's tamr, there's sha'ir, and there's burr, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned. Ulama said the illah for this thing to be categorized into riba with things is at-tu'um, is because people use it as their staple food. Now anything that falls under that category has the same hukum with it. The same applies to dhahab and fidda, gold and silver. That's why you're not supposed to exchange 1,000 shillings for 900 because you're in a hurry. The guy says, do you want? And this is a transaction that has been practiced in Kenya. Ask those people who are doing transportation, matatu drivers. It was even documented in Citizen TV. There's this guy who has always change. He has these coins. He goes there. You come with 100 shillings, he gives you 90 shillings. That is riba. So we need to know these transactions because it's either we are dealing with it directly or indirectly. You have your matatu, you don't know what your driver and your makanga is doing in the road. You have to teach them because you don't want to consume haram while not knowing. So brothers in Islam, riba has become the norm. We need to ask Allah to protect us from riba. Because I don't know if there's any one of us who is saved from riba. And I think this is the time when the Prophet ﷺ said, riba is going to be rampant in my society, in my people, until one who has already escaped from it, the sand of riba is going to come on top of him. You've tried as much as possible to run away from riba, but the dust of riba has come onto you, just dust. And I think it is this time. So we need to ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to protect us and our family from riba. ألا وصلوا وسلموا على من أمركم الله بالصلاة والسلام عليه فقال سبحانه إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد وارض اللهم عن الخلفاء الأربعة أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن سائر الصحابة أجمعين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداء الدين اللهم ارزقنا حلالا طيبا اللهم ارزقنا حلالا طيبا وجنبنا الربا والفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن اللهم احفظ أهلنا من الربا اللهم احفظ أهلنا من الربا واحفظ أزواجنا من الربا وأمهاتنا من الربا اللهم ارزقنا رزقا حلالا طيبا هنيئا مريئا اللهم ارزقنا رزقا حلالا طيبا هنيئا مريئا يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم اقض الدين عن المدينين واشف مرضنا ومرضانا ومرضى المسلمين وعاف مبتلانا وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله وأقيموا الصلاة